Welcome back to Bloom. When is a relationship worth a second try? Joining us today is Samiwunder, an international relationship and dating expert. Welcome to Bloom, Sami.
Thank you for having me. So glad to be here.
So we have seen, in the headlines, a very popular rekindling of relationships. Talk to me about that.
I know. I think when it comes to going back to our exes and rekindling romance with them, it's almost always a no-go zone. Like, that's the zone they tell us to stay clear from. But in my experience, sometimes it's really worth it to go back to a relationship where, you've been able to work things out, and perhaps there is potential for a great relationship to come from it.
So what exactly is the list that you talk about?
All right, so the list is an assessment tool that I help my clients to assess with whether or not they should be going back to an ex. So when our clients come to us and say, I've been thinking about going back to my person, this man or woman I loved, and I'm wondering if it's just me, falling for the chemistry again, or is it actually worth it? Was there really something there that I can go back to? So in this scenario, I asked them to draw up a list with the good stuff that they're missing and that they valued from the relationship, and then the bad stuff, the stuff that annoyed them, that they felt resentful around. And if the good stuff outweighs the bad stuff, there's a possibility, there's a potential there for rekindling of the romance. But if the bad stuff is far outweighing the good stuff, you're truly better off moving on.
Sami, I wanted to ask you about your 30-day rekindle challenge. Is it just for if you're dealing with an ex, or can it apply to people who are in a long relationship that's just kind of fallen flat?
Oh, absolutely. So this is not just for rekindling romance with your ex. It also applies equally to all couples out there who are in long-term relationships and things tend to get a little boring or, routine sometimes. So rekindling the romance is all about focusing on the good aspects of your partner and really pumping up the appreciation. So there's a reason why we are with someone. And when we are caught in the everyday routine of life, it's so easy to get caught up with all the complaints and, notice everything that is wrong with them or they don't do right, and to get critical and complaining. So the 30-day rekindling romance challenge is all about appreciation and learning for 30 days to focus only on the good aspects of your partner and to actually be expressive around them and to talk about them and to openly say them. So for example, you don't just want to think in your head that it's nice of your boyfriend to take out the garbage. You actually want to say it. You want to tell him, you know what, I really appreciate that without me nudging you and prodding you, you take out the garbage every day. That's a wonderful thing. Those little focus points of appreciation really go on to add up the romance and the good feelings inside a relationship.
And Sami, you were talking about how when things get into a rut or you only focus on the negative, folks might say things to one another that left them with hurt feelings. So talk to me about forgiveness meditations. What are they and do they really work?
Oh my God, absolutely. I think with every tool or modality, it works when you want it to work and when you actually want to feel better. So for me, what I've seen with my clients, often they love their partner, but they find it challenging to let go of the past wounds and past hurts, and they keep replaying it in their heads. So for example, I had a client, let's call her Veronica, and she was back with her ex and they had this wonderful thing going on, but 2 months in, she got intensely triggered by a text that showed up on his phone, and she saw it, and then she went down the rabbit hole of her past wounds because this man had previously emotionally cheated on her, which means that he'd had an affair, and that's why they had broken up, and she had decided to get back and give him another chance. And that's when she wanted to blow up on him and, start a fight again. But we recommended that she went into forgiveness because he had profusely apologized for his behavior, and it was time to give him a really clean slate and a really clean chance. And that's when we do forgiveness meditations, because we have to be willing to understand that our partners, as much as we love them and admire them. They're still human beings. They make mistakes sometimes. And if we really want to start on a clean slate, we cannot hold on to the past and we cannot hold on to the resentment. We must be willing to let go. That's where these beautiful forgiveness meditations come in. They help you release the past wounds and they help you move forward with a clean slate.
Well, Sammy, I have a million more questions, but we're out of time, so I hope you come back and visit us on Bloom someday.
Thank you for having me. Wonderful connecting.
Likewise. Thank you, Sammy. And for more information, you can visit samiwunder.com. We'll be back with more Bloom